Right now, over 150 million Americans are waking up to a winter storm that just got significantly worse overnight. And I need to tell you something that might shock you. The forecast models that came in 3 hours ago show ice accumulation numbers that we have not seen in over a decade across the southern United States. 2 feet of snow, 1 inch of solid ice on power lines, temperatures dropping to 30 degrees below zero with wind chills hitting -60. And here is what nobody is talking about yet. This is not one storm. This is 2 massive systems that are going to hit back to back, and the second one is going to be twice as powerful as the first. So where exactly is your state in all of this? Are you in the direct path? Will you see the historic snowfall or the crippling ice? And most importantly, what do the next 72 hours look like for your specific location? Stay with me because at the 30-second mark, I am going to reveal which states just declared emergencies in the last 6 hours. And if you make it to the 5-minute mark, I will break down exactly what is coming to your state, hour by hour. But first, let me give you the reward I promised. Here are the 9 states that declared states of emergency just this morning: Texas, Arkansas, Missouri, Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Virginia. And more declarations are expected within the next 12 hours as this system continues to grow. Now, why is this storm so different? Why are meteorologists calling this a historic event? Let me show you something that is going to change how you think about winter storms in America. This storm covers more ground than any winter system we have seen in the past 8 years. From the Texas Panhandle all the way to the coast of Maine, over 2,000 miles of active winter weather. But here is the twist that most people do not understand yet. The storm is not moving. It is sitting, parked right over the southern United States for 3 full days. What does that mean for you? It means the ice keeps building, the snow keeps falling, and the temperatures keep dropping. In fact, by tomorrow morning, parts of Kansas and Oklahoma will see snowfall rates of 3 inches per hour. That is faster than snowplows can clear it. And speaking of tomorrow, here is something that is going to blow your mind. The coldest air that North America has seen all winter is dropping south tonight. We are talking about a polar surge so strong that Minneapolis will feel like -58 degrees by Saturday morning, and that Arctic air is going to push all the way down to Dallas by Sunday. But you want to know what is really keeping me up at night? It is not just the snow, it is not just the ice, it is what happens when you combine both. Let me explain. When you get heavy snow, snowplows can clear it. When you get ice, you can treat the roads with salt. But when you get snow falling on top of ice, on top of more snow, on top of more ice, in layers, for 3 straight days, nothing works. Roads become impassable, power lines snap under the weight, and emergency services cannot reach people who need help. And that brings me to the most important question of this entire forecast. Are you prepared? Not just prepared like you have some groceries. I am talking about really prepared for what could be a week without power in some areas. Let me be very specific here because this is critical. If you live anywhere from Oklahoma to Virginia and you have not yet charged your devices, filled your bathtub with water, and made sure you have a way to stay warm without electricity, you need to do that today, not tonight, today. Because by tonight, it may already be too dangerous to drive. Now, let me tell you exactly what is happening right now as I record this. At this very moment, freezing rain is falling across western Oklahoma. The Texas Panhandle is seeing snow rates of 1 to 2 inches per hour. And in Tulsa, schools have already shut down because ice is coating the roads faster than crews can treat them. But here is where it gets interesting. This is just the appetizer. What you are seeing right now is the first wave. The second wave, which arrives late Saturday night, is going to be the main event. And that second system is going to bring snowfall rates that are 50% higher than what we are seeing right now. Think about that for a second. If Tulsa is getting hammered right now with the weaker system, what is going to happen when the stronger one arrives? That is the question that has emergency managers across 10 states working overtime tonight. And I want you to do something for me right now. Drop a comment below and tell me what state and city you are in. Why? Because I am tracking this storm minute by minute, and I want to give you specific updates for your exact location as this develops. The more specific you are, the better I can help you understand what is heading your way. Now, at the 3-minute 20-second mark, I am going to show you the exact forecast for 30 major states. But before we get there, you need to understand the timeline, because timing is everything with this storm. Here is how the next 72 hours are going to unfold. Friday afternoon, that is today, Oklahoma and Kansas take the first hit. Freezing rain and heavy snow develop rapidly between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. By midnight tonight, Arkansas and Tennessee are fully engaged with this system. And here is the kicker. At sunrise tomorrow, Saturday morning, if you are in Kentucky, Tennessee, or the Memphis area, you wake up to a completely different world. But Saturday night, that is when things get serious. The second system explodes in size. And I am not exaggerating when I say explodes. The precipitation shield is going to triple in coverage in just 6 hours. From 8 p.m. Saturday to 2 a.m. Sunday, parts of Pennsylvania, Ohio, and West Virginia could see 6 inches of new snowfall, 6 inches in 6 hours. Then Sunday morning brings the grand finale. Heavy snow slams into the Northeast. We are talking about Boston, New York City, Philadelphia, all getting hit at the same time. And along the Appalachian Mountains from Virginia through the Carolinas, ice continues to accumulate. Quarter inch, half inch, in some spots over 1 inch of solid ice coating everything. Now let me give you those state-by-state forecasts I promised at the 5-minute mark. This is the most comprehensive breakdown you are going to find anywhere, and I am going to go through 30 states so you know exactly what is coming. Starting in the south, Texas. If you are in Dallas or Fort Worth, expect 1 to 3 inches of snow Friday night with a glaze of ice. Not catastrophic, but enough to shut down highways. If you are in the Panhandle near Amarillo, you are looking at 8 to 12 inches of snow with winds gusting to 40 miles per hour. Blizzard conditions are very possible, Oklahoma. This is ground zero for the first wave. Tulsa and Enid, you are in the bullseye for 12 to 15 inches of snow. Oklahoma City sits in a tricky spot where you might get heavy sleet instead of pure snow, which means 4 to 6 inches of sleet and ice mix. Either way, travel is going to be nearly impossible from tonight through Sunday, Kansas. Southern Kansas near Wichita could see 10 to 14 inches. Kansas City sits on the northern edge, so you are looking at lighter amounts, maybe 3 to 5 inches, but do not let that fool you. 3 inches of snow with ice underneath is just as dangerous. Arkansas, Little Rock, you are in for a rough weekend. 5 to 7 inches of snow starting Friday night, but the real story is the ice. Current models show half an inch of ice accumulation. That is enough to cause widespread power outages. And once the power goes out in these temperatures, it could be days before crews can restore it. Missouri. St. Louis and Kansas City, you are on the fringe. St. Louis might see 6 to 8 inches of snow. Kansas City, as I mentioned, 3 to 5 inches. But the cold is going to be your big story. Saturday morning temperatures drop to 5 degrees above zero with wind chills near -15 or Tennessee. This is where the ice storm becomes a major concern. Nashville and Memphis, you are both looking at significant icing. Memphis could see over 1 inch of ice accumulation between Friday night and Sunday. Nashville, 3 to 5 inches of snow with a quarter inch of ice on top. Power outages are almost certain in both cities. Kentucky. Louisville and Lexington, 12 to 15 inches of snow. The snow arrives Saturday morning and continues through Sunday afternoon. Snowfall rates could hit 2 inches per hour at times, which means visibility drops to near zero on highways. This is a stay-home weekend for Kentucky. Alabama. Northern Alabama near Huntsville, you are in the ice zone. Half inch of ice possible with 2 to 4 inches of snow. Birmingham sits just south of the worst impacts, but you will still see some freezing rain Saturday night, Georgia. Atlanta, I know you do not want to hear this, but icing is likely Saturday into Sunday. We are talking about a quarter inch of ice, maybe more in the northern suburbs, and we all remember what happens when Atlanta gets ice. I-75 and I-85 will be parking lots. Just stay home, South Carolina. Greenville and the upstate region, you are in a very dangerous setup. 1 to 3 inches of snow Friday night, then freezing rain Saturday and Sunday. Total ice accumulation could reach half an inch. That means tree branches snapping, power lines coming down, and roads that are impossible to treat. North Carolina, Charlotte and Raleigh, this is a complicated forecast. Charlotte could see 3 to 6 inches of snow with significant icing. Raleigh sits farther east where you might see more of a rain-snow mix, but the Appalachian Mountains west of Charlotte could get absolutely buried. 8 to 12 inches of snow with over half an inch of ice in the highest elevations, Virginia. Richmond sits in an interesting spot where you might see 4 to 8 inches of snow Sunday morning. But Western Virginia near Roanoke, that is where the ice storm hits hardest. 1 inch of ice is possible. And remember, these are the same areas that were devastated by Hurricane Helene less than 2 years ago. Power outages here could last over a week. West Virginia. Charleston and the central part of the state, 10 to 14 inches of snow. The snow starts Saturday afternoon and does not stop until Monday morning. This is a major snow event for West Virginia, Ohio. Cincinnati and Columbus, you are both in line for significant snow. Cincinnati could see 12 to 15 inches, Columbus maybe 8 to 12. Cleveland sits farther north, so you are looking at lighter amounts, 4 to 6 inches, but the cold behind this system is going to be brutal for all of Ohio. Temperatures Sunday night drop below zero, Pennsylvania. Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, this is where things get really interesting. Pittsburgh could see 10 to 14 inches of snow. Philadelphia, you are in a tricky spot where temperatures might be borderline. You could see anywhere from 6 inches to 12 inches depending on if you stay cold enough. But the Philadelphia suburbs and the Poconos could get hammered with over 18 inches. New Jersey, northern New Jersey and areas near Newark, 8 to 12 inches of snow. But here's the twist. If the storm tracks 20 miles farther west, you could see 15 inches. The forecast is highly dependent on the exact storm track, which is why I want you to comment your location so I can give you updates as the models come in. New York City, you are on the edge. Could be 6 inches, could be 12. It all depends on storm position. But Long Island, you need to pay very close attention to this one. Current models show 18 to 24 inches of snow possible on Long Island. That would make this a historic snowstorm, something we have not seen in over a decade. Connecticut. Hartford and New Haven, 10 to 16 inches of snow. The snow starts Sunday morning and continues through Monday. This is going to be a paralyzing snowstorm for Connecticut, with snowfall rates potentially hitting 3 inches per hour Sunday afternoon. Rhode Island and Massachusetts, Providence and Boston, welcome to the bullseye. Both cities are looking at 12 to 18 inches of snow. Some models show isolated amounts over 20 inches in eastern Massachusetts and Cape Cod. The snow arrives Sunday morning, peaks Sunday afternoon, and winds could gust over 50 miles per hour, creating blizzard conditions. Vermont and New Hampshire. Burlington and Concord, both looking at 12 to 15 inches. The snow arrives Saturday night and continues through Sunday night. This is a classic nor'easter setup for northern New England from Maine, Portland, and the southern coast, 8 to 14 inches. Northern Maine sees lighter amounts, maybe 4 to 8 inches, because the storm energy is focused farther south. Now, let me take you back through some states that are not getting the big snow, but the story there is the extreme cold. Michigan. Detroit and Grand Rapids, you might only see 1 to 3 inches of snow. But the real story is what happens Monday and Tuesday. Temperatures are going to crash. We are talking about high temperatures not getting above zero for 3 straight days. Wind chills Monday morning could hit negative 35 degrees Wisconsin. Milwaukee and Madison, similar story. Light snow, maybe 2 to 4 inches, but then Arctic air settles in. Negative 15-degree temperatures with wind chills approaching negative 40. Minnesota. Minneapolis, you are getting hit with the coldest air first. By Saturday morning, actual air temperature drops to negative 25 degrees. Wind chill drops to negative 58. This is the kind of cold where you can get frostbite in under 5 minutes of exposure. Iowa. Des Moines, you are on the northern fringe of the snow, maybe 3 to 5 inches Friday into Saturday, but then the cold slams you. Sunday through Tuesday, high temperatures stay below 10 degrees, Illinois. Chicago, you are in a similar boat as Iowa. Light snow Friday night, 3 to 4 inches, then dangerous cold for several days. This is the kind of cold that strains power grids and causes pipes to freeze and burst. Indiana. Indianapolis, 4 to 7 inches of snow Saturday into Sunday. The snow might not be the biggest story, but the cold that follows is going to be very dangerous. Monday morning temperatures drop below zero, Louisiana and Mississippi. You are on the southern edge, so major impacts are less likely. But even New Orleans could see temperatures drop into the 20s by Monday. And if you are in northern Mississippi near Tupelo, some freezing rain is possible Saturday. Florida. The storm does not impact you directly, but the severe weather side of this system could bring isolated tornadoes and damaging winds to the Panhandle Saturday afternoon. Stay weather aware. Delaware, Maryland, and Washington, D.C. You are all in a very tricky forecast zone. Baltimore and D.C. could see anywhere from 4 to 10 inches of snow Sunday, but the bigger concern might be ice. A quarter-inch of ice is possible Saturday night in both cities. And remember, 1/4 inch of ice on power lines can cause outages that last for days. Nebraska and South Dakota. Both states see the light snow side of this storm, maybe 1 to 3 inches. But you get hit with the full force of the polar surge. Temperatures Monday morning in Omaha drop to -15. Sioux Falls could see -25-degree temperatures. Now here is what I need you to understand. This forecast is going to change. Not because meteorologists do not know what they are doing, but because this is such a large, complex system that small changes in storm track make huge differences in snow and ice totals. That is why I am going to be updating this forecast every 6 hours for the next 3 days. And that is why I need you to comment your location below. Because when I do those updates, I want to make sure you get the information that matters for your exact city. But there is something else I need to talk about. The cold, the snow and ice are bad enough, but what comes after is going to be just as dangerous. By Monday, the core of the Arctic air settles over the central and eastern United States. And we are not talking about normal winter cold. We are talking about life-threatening cold. From Montana to Maine, temperatures Monday morning drop below zero. And across the Great Plains, we could see actual air temperatures hit -30 degrees. Wind chills Monday and Tuesday will range from -30 to -60 degrees across a huge portion of the country. At -60-degree wind chill, exposed skin freezes in under 2 minutes. This is the kind of cold that can kill you if you are not prepared. And here is the cruel twist. Because so many power lines are going to be damaged by the ice this weekend, there will be people without heat in some of the coldest weather we have seen in years. That is why emergency managers are so concerned. That is why states are declaring emergencies before the storm even arrives. So let me tell you what you need to do right now if you are in any of the affected states. First, charge everything. Your phone, your laptop, your tablets, your portable chargers. If the power goes out, you need a way to get information. Second, water. Fill your bathtub. Fill every container you have. If the power is out for days, water systems can fail, especially in extreme cold. Third, heat. If you have a fireplace, make sure you have wood. If you have a generator, make sure you have fuel and you know how to run it safely. Never run a generator indoors. Carbon monoxide poisoning kills people every winter during power outages. Fourth, food. Non-perishable items that do not require cooking. Because if the power is out and it is -20 degrees outside, you are not going to want to grill. Fifth, medications. If you take prescription medications, make sure you have enough to last at least a week, because if roads are impassable, you cannot get to the pharmacy. And sixth, check on your neighbors, especially elderly neighbors or anyone who might need extra help. This is the kind of storm where we need to look out for each other. Now, I promised you something at the beginning of this video. I told you there was going to be information at specific time points. Well, here is your final reward. The absolute worst time to be on the road during this entire event is Saturday night between 8 p.m. and midnight. That 4-hour window is when the second wave of this storm reaches peak intensity. If you're on the highway during that time, anywhere from Oklahoma to Pennsylvania, you are putting yourself in serious danger. Stay home Saturday night. It is that simple. Nothing is worth risking your life on roads that are going to be covered in ice with zero visibility from heavy snow. But what about after the storm? When does life get back to normal? That is the question everyone wants answered. And honestly, the answer is not great. For areas that get heavy snow but not much ice, roads could be passable by Monday or Tuesday. For areas that get significant ice, we are talking about a longer recovery. Power restoration in areas with over 1 inch of ice could take a week or more. And remember, that recovery is happening in extreme cold, which makes the work slower and more dangerous for repair crews. The coldest weather sticks around through Wednesday of next week. So even after the snow and ice stop, you are still dealing with dangerous conditions for several more days. Now let me tell you what happens next on this channel. I am going to be live streaming this entire event. Starting Friday afternoon, I will be tracking this storm in real time with dozens of cameras across the affected states. You will see the snow falling in Tulsa. You will see the ice accumulating in Memphis. You will see the nor'easter slamming into Boston, all in real time. And unlike other coverage, this will be commercial-free. No interruptions, just continuous, comprehensive coverage of the entire event. If you want to stay informed about what is happening in your area, or if you want to see what is coming before it gets to you, you need to be watching those live streams. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you know exactly when we go live, because this is going to be a weekend that people talk about for years. This is a historic winter storm for multiple regions, and I want to make sure you have all the information you need to stay safe. Before I wrap this up, let me leave you with one more thing to think about. Climate and weather are getting more extreme. Storms that were once considered 100-year events are now happening every few years. The meteorological patterns that create these massive winter storms are becoming more common, not less. What does that mean for you? It means being prepared is not just about this storm. It is about changing how we think about extreme weather in general. It means having emergency supplies ready all the time, not just when a storm is 12 hours away. It means taking warnings seriously even when you think your area will not be impacted. Because here is the truth. This storm changed dramatically in just 48 hours. On Wednesday, forecasters thought this would be a moderate winter event. By Thursday, it became clear this was going to be historic. The forecast will continue to evolve, and parts of it might get even worse before it is over. That is why I'm asking you again to comment your location below, not just for you, but for your neighbors who might also be watching. When people share where they are, it creates a community of people all tracking this together, and that community can share real-time updates about what they are seeing on the ground in their area. So drop that comment right now. Tell me your city and state. And while you are down there, hit the like button so this video reaches more people who need this information. Because the more people who are prepared, the fewer tragedies we will see from this storm. This storm is going to test America. It is going to test our infrastructure, our emergency response systems, and our ability to come together as communities when things get difficult. But I know we can get through this if we are prepared and if we look out for each other. The next 72 hours are going to be intense. Stay safe, stay warm, and stay informed. I will see you in the live streams, and I will keep updating you as this historic winter storm unfolds.